taking shots at the enemy. I'm gonna make it to the top, leave a legacy. If I got something to say, you better let me speak. Turn it up a new degree, bitch, you ain't seen anything. I pop off with the new rock, electronic, blow the sonic roof up. I'm too honest when I take a few shots. They're too toxic, need to take the noose off. And you cannot save me, 'cause I don't need saving. It's everything I've been chasing, all here for the taking. Don't wanna test your luck with me, I think I've had enough disease. I'm sick of all the bad thoughts, people who are half-nots. You are not as tough as I'm back, you know that I never left. I got tracks and some music that you never guessed. I don't slack, don't lose, learn your lesson yet. When I get to choose what I do, I'm like a weapon. I'm not sharp as many, but got heart. I'm ready to change scars to envy, to win large and plenty. I like to play fast, never change back. Calling out, I'll pay back, 'cause I'm great at that. Oh, you cannot save me, 'cause I don't need saving. It's everything I've been chasing, all here for the taking. Don't wanna test your luck with me, I think I've had enough disease. I'm sick of all the bad thoughts, people who are half-nots. You were not as tough though. Don't wanna test your luck with me, I think I've had enough disease. I'm sick of all the bad thoughts, people who are half-nots. You were not as tough as me. Don't wanna test your luck with me, I think I've had enough disease. I'm sick of all the bad thoughts, people who are half-nots. You were not as tough as me.
Good evening, or should that be good evening? Welcome to this Halloween edition of FPL Agony, here to make fantasy football less like hell. Although on this spooktacular episode, maybe we're going to make it more like hell. In today's episode, we're going to be going through Gameweek 13, and we have and Bench Nightmares is back. It's amazing, and there are so many Bench Nightmares. I don't know what happened. I don't know what half of you are thinking, but we have some amazing benches coming up on today's show. We're also going to be talking about Gameweek 14, all the little fixtures and stuff coming up for that, and we've got Cameraman Challenge. Cameraman Challenge is back, baby, and it's going to be an opportunity for all of you watching to get involved. Joining us on today's show, we have our Cockney experts in residence. First up, he's armed with burger and chips. He's the West Ham fan, and Emerson is his favourite ever signing. Let's hear it for Scott. And also joining us, everything is blue for him. He's the biggest Chelsea fan in the world. So big, his favourite ever manager was V.S. Boas. Let's hear it for Signore.
Good evening to you too.
Excellent. And just a reminder to everyone watching, do get involved in the chat. Lots of you there already. Hello to ZA, FPL Algeria, FPL Arrows, Sean, Football Fumble. Thank you very much for your comments so far. Good evening, welcome. And I think we should get underway. So let's go through the fixtures for Game Week 13. What happened? Well, the shock result, I think, Well, potentially 2 shock results, but the biggest shock was Forest 1-0 win over Liverpool. We also had a really great result for Everton, 3-0 over Crystal Palace. Man City 3, Brighton 1. Chelsea drew 1-1 with Man United. Aston Villa 4, Brentford 0. Another sort of surprise result there. They obviously didn't like Steven Gerrard very much. Leeds 2, Fulham 3. Southampton drew 1-1 with Arsenal. Wolves 0, Leicester 4. Are Leicester going to be safe? Is this the beginning of some magical period where they're going to get right out that relegation zone and win the league again? And then we had a great result for Newcastle, beating Spurs 2-1 away. And then, of course, West Ham 2, Bournemouth 0. And then Emerson, who lots of people have on the bench, really made an impact in that match. So that's brilliant. So, Signore, any fixtures that did you a favour this week? What stood out for you?
Nothing. Like, this is why we started doing this in the first place, because it was total agony from start to end. I mean, the only saving grace of me was that my captain was Haaland. That is it. And a shout out to the people that have just joined the chat as well. See, Jason, Harley and ZA have also put in a little hello. So hello to you folks too.
Scott, what stood out for you? You must be pretty pleased at the West Ham result.
Are we talking about football FPL, boys? Like, my only returns this week on FPL was Mitrovic captain, which like 90% of the world had, and it was Haaland captain and Mitrovic return. Literally, I got 1 and 2 pointers across the board. It's literally the worst game week ever. Like, I'm sure it's the worst game week ever.
We'll take a look at your team. 48 points for the week. You had Haaland as captain, which sort of paid off, I think, there a bit. Everything else, I mean, that is a wow. I mean, it's just ones and twos.
It's bleak. Like, it's his number bonds to 10, people. Like, if we're struggling, look at the team. That's how you learn your number bonds to 10. It was bad. It was bad. Like, I mean, we're talking. I don't want to talk about the bench. I'm not even getting into it. Like, it was bad. Like, we started off the game week, 12:30 kickoff, Liverpool Forest. We're like, oh, tasty. If Salah's going to get involved, it's going to be this game. Come on, it's going to be this game. I was going to buy a new light bulb this week, people, but look what happened to the game week. I thought, you know what, I haven't got the money for it. We're going to leave.
I just thought you had a good idea,
down.
Scott.
Honestly, like, we're done. We're absolutely done. I've got nothing else to say. I'm going to sit here and drink my water as I do every week. And I'm going to just enjoy it.
Football Fumble reckons it's time to get rid of Salah. I do you know what? I'm of that opinion. I only brought him back for that tricky game week where Arsenal and City didn't play. But I think it's game up for Salah, surely. Signore, we'll have a look at your team. Now, so let's just have a look. You got 50 points for the week. You did slightly better than Scott. You also had Haaland as captain.
Thanks,
Mings.
Yeah,
But Mings sorted you right out, didn't he? So let's talk about your week, Signore.
Well, I've got to be honest. I weren't expecting much off Mings because Villa was in the trouble they're in, and just like Scott's team, it sounds like a good garage song, like on the ones and twos, Like, that's it. Nothing else.
Bravo. Wow. Oh, I got a feeling Signore is going to be on fire in today's episode.
Welcome back, Signore. Welcome back. I had to hold the fort last week, yeah? That was hard for me, yeah? So you come back in here, taking all the limelight. That's fine, Signore. Thanks very much.
In many aspects, I wish I wasn't back. My team's not there. Like, just... so.
Right. Well, I'm not going to rub it in and show my team because you obviously knew that I won this week. I got 60 something. I can't remember what. Sean did pretty well. Got 65 points. Leicester defensive double up. So well done on that one.
Well done, Sean.
Well done, Sean. Mate. Great stuff. And FPL Arrows reckons your light bulb looks a bit like a halo. You're looking you're feeling pretty angelic today, mate. Yeah.
Thanks very much, pal. I appreciate it. Yeah, I really appreciate it. Someone's got to come and support me somewhere along the line, so I appreciate it.
Now, the thing is, it's all very well for you two to blame the fixtures, to blame the results, but you made some pretty shocking decisions because your points total could have been far better had you actually used your bench properly. Because now, after a big gap, it is time for bench nightmares. Oh, boy, oh boy, bench nightmares is back, and wow. There are some shockers, man. Like, wow, I can't believe what I'm looking at. It's incredible. And guess what? You both made it onto Bench Nightmares. Congratulations. Oh, let's get that music turned down. I'm so excited. Right, okay, so Scott, we're going to pick apart your bench because this is insane. Andreas with 10, and Williams with 6, and Ward with 8. That's not good, man. What were you thinking?
Listen, people, yeah? I sent out a bunch of polls this week on Twitter, and I was like, listen, boys, get involved. Tell me what I need to do. Do you think I listened to any of them? No, I listened to none of them. It was 60% to 40, so 60-40 in favour of Ward to start. No, I went Guita. Yeah, let's do it. Like, let's go against the people, right? Let's go which defender to bring in, because I needed to get rid of, Emerson or Johnny, because what an absolute signing he was for me. So everyone went, go White, go Ben White. He'll return for you. Potential clean sheet, potential assist. Yeah, brilliant. What did I go for? Gabriel. Right? Do you think I listened to the people? No, I didn't. I am no longer a man of the people, and I have to accept that. That's absolutely fine. Right? I'm not having it. What an absolute nightmare. Right? Gabriel got an assist. All right, yeah, they conceded, but he still got 6 points. Was it more than that after the bonus? It was an absolute nightmare, and I absolutely deserve my place in the Hall of Fame of Game Week 13. It's as simple as that.
You absolutely do. It's quite shocking, but you'll be pleased to know, not the worst bench we've going to see this week.
That's nice to know.
I think slightly worse is Signore, who had Ward on the bench with 8, Andreas with 10, Williams with 6, Webster with 1. We don't care about Webster, but those first 3. Again, I ask you, Signore, what were you thinking?
I wasn't really. I mean, but the whole Webster thing, I went to bring in Dunk, and for some reason, when I checked out, there was Webster on my team instead of Dunk. I don't know what happened, but he's there, so I've got to deal with that, innit? Ward, I mean, I've got my goalkeeping choices completely wrong the last 3 or 4 game weeks. Every time I put Raya in, he's not produced. Every time I've got Raya on my bench, he seems to not only keep a clean sheet, but get the bonus points as well. I mean, this is killing me. These guys are not fixing up. I need some help out here, please. Like, I was in a top 800,000. I've dropped back into the million. I mean, come on, guys. I need some help.
It's fantastic. I remember you texting the group chat going, oh, yeah, Ben White. Yeah, all of this business. Yeah, Raya. Yeah, he's the one. Yeah, I'm starting him this week. Man got save points. It's amazing. Absolutely amazing. I'm sorry, Signore. Welcome back and all that, but it was amazing to see that. Yeah, I'm going for Raya this week, and it just didn't work. Evening to Jay, by the way, from FPL of the Day. Really appreciate you joining us.
Welcome.
Really appreciate it. I mean it. That's amazing for you to join us alongside FPL Arrows. But yeah, what can I say? Listen, my game week was terrible, but I earned a little bit of enjoyment out of it. I'm not going to lie, Signore. I'm so sorry, bro. I love you to pieces, but,
Let's all
it
laugh
didn't work,
at my
did
pain.
it, son?
I won't laugh at your pain. I will.
Oh, thanks, man.
Next up, we have a team from James Blackwell. You may recall from 2 episodes ago, we were looking at that Tumbleweed week, or was it a week ago? When
It was last week, mate.
It was last week. I can't.
2 game weeks, 1 week ago.
I can't remember. I'm done.
8 days between friends.
8
mate.
days.
Like,
Well, we had a look at James Blackwell's team called Clop and Load, and I took the mickey out of him because he made some really weird choices to do that. But it paid off. He did all right in the end, so I felt a bit bad taking the mickey on the show. But it doesn't matter because his bench is a disaster. He had Pope with 2, Almiron with 10. Which, why would you have him on the bench? I mean, that's ridiculous. We know the form Newcastle in at the moment. Williams with 6, and he had Mings with 10. Oh, that's painful. I'm sorry, mate.
He chose gross. Is that gross?
He did.
That isn't it.
It is.
Do you remember?
Almiron.
Do you remember? Do you remember when he was an option like 7 weeks ago?
Not anymore.
He's stuck in a time warp, mate. This would have been a good team, yeah, about 6 weeks ago.
I'll tell you what, it's
Oh,
nice to
dear.
look in the
There
chat.
we go.
People sharing their pain as well. I think Jace Harley put up, he had Henderson and Mings on his bench. FPL Algeria has put Almiron, Williams, could foul 20 points in their bench. I mean,
I'm sorry, right, boys. I'm going to interrupt here. FPL of the day, Jay, if you're still listening, mate, you had Sue Fowl come on for a 1-pointer. Oh, yeah, 1-pointer. He's coming out next week. He still got an assist at the end of the game with a penalty. I can't believe it. Absolutely amazing addition to your side. Listen, Jay London, you're the guy. You know, I said to him yesterday, like, Sue Fowl triple captain next week against Man United. It's as simple as that. Like, there's just no other option. Like, what an when your game week's down, all you need is Sue Fowl to come on with 3 minutes left of football. It's as simple as that. Simple as that.
Now, here's the thing. We don't just have 3 bench nightmares. We have another 3 bench nightmares. Have a look at this.
Oh,
Wow.
special times, guys.
It's starting to get
Amazing.
worse. These benches are starting to get worse. Okay, so now we're creeping up in the values of the benches. This is Hakuna Mateta. I mean, it's a lame name of that for a start. Sorry, mate. That's not it, mate. We have Ward with 8 points, Andreas with 10, Young with 6, and Trossard with 7. And again, we're creeping up that points. And what does that come to? It comes to 24, 31 points, I think. Wow, 31 points on your bench. I mean, that's shocking. Absolutely shocking. Football fumble, Andreas and Williams killing me. Yeah, I know. Who would have thought? Although Andreas, we need to talk about, because that isn't a surprise and people should stop benching Andreas, in my opinion. But we'll come to that when we talk about the next game week. Maduka FC, Henderson with 11, Nant with 2, Dyer with 1, Mings with 10. So that comes to about 24, I think, by my rough count. 24 points on the bench. That's not looking too good.
yeah, but they didn't captain Haaland? Or did they captain Haaland?
They captained
did.
Haaland. They did.
Oh,
They
thank
got
God for that.
a lot of these people did, and that's absolutely fine. Yeah, and then we get to the next one. We have Pickford with 6, Williams with 6. How do I say his name? Castagni.
Castagna.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one. It's like Signore. This is like Signore trying to say Kulusevski again, isn't it?
All right, Paul Merson, calm down.
And Bailey with 13. Bailey had a great week. 13 points.
Listen, that FPL troll, mate. I don't want to hear Bailey's name ever again. All right, I'm not drinking Bailey's ever again. What an absolute amazing Irish liqueur. I'm not doing it.
No,
What's going on?
it just lets you down constantly when you use him or you don't use him. That's ridiculous. So that comes to 24. I mean, that's quite a high scoring bench. That's 6, 12, 24, 27, 37, I think, on that bench. That's ridiculous.
That's got to be the highest that was.
Here's the thing. We don't just have 6 bench nightmares. Oh, no. Bench nightmares is properly back, baby. We have 9. Here are 3 more. The last 3. Super strikers. Check this out. Imagine putting the whole of Man City on your bench.
Oh, FPL
What?
casuals are there again. Come on,
Innit?
FPL casuals. We're there for you. Oh, my gosh. Wow.
Game week 12 happened and they forgot about it, it would seem. So Raya with 2, Haaland on the bench with 13, De Bruyne on the bench with 9, and Cancelo on the bench with 2. It's not as high scoring as the others, but like, wow.
With Captain Edouard, is that right?
They've captained Edouard, yeah. And look at the defence. Oh, mate, that's
Mental.
That is a rough time.
It's really funny because I get the stream a little bit later on my big screen, so I'm only just getting it in 50 inches, and I'm like, oh my god, that is scary. That is scary.
Oh, look at me.
13 points on your bench.
Look at me
Mental.
casually mentioning my 50-inch TV. Ooh.
Well,
So you're one of our 11 viewers.
Listen, someone can afford a signed West Ham shirt from 2019, 2020. Thank you very much. That's all I'm saying. But yes.
So next up, we have Man FC. And we have Henderson with 11, Haaland with 13, Saliba with 2, Cancelo with 2. Again, look at the talent. Look at that talent. I mean, did play Bailey, fair enough. Took a punt on Bailey and scored pretty well. But again, like,
that's a lot of bench
why
points.
is Haaland on your bench, mate? These casuals, man, they need to start picking it up. And then, I can't even say the last team name, Hajduck Hayes. I don't know what's going on. Whatever.
I'm sure they're in the Conference League somewhere along the line. I'm not going to lie.
And we have Henderson with 11, Perisic with 1, that's fine. Mings with 10, Andreas with 10. Oh, that takes us up to 32 points on the bench. I mean, wow. That is... That's just... We need to have a minute's silence for these benches. Anyway, moving on.
Just a moment.
Anyway, moving on. That's some excellent stuff. Thank you for taking part. Now, before we actually go to the next game week, I did want to take a look at our FPL Fantasy League. Do join it. There's usually a link in the description for these videos if you haven't already. I mean, how many teams have we got on it, guys? It goes on forever.
I think it's 282, I believe.
I mean,
with a couple of additions. Scroll
281.
Wow,
so
that's
close.
Amazing.
Thank you. Yeah, go on.
I was just going to say thank you so much for everyone for joining, and it's still open. If you want to get involved, please get involved. You can join at any point during the season. You'll still enter your place wherever you would have been with your grand total of points so far this season. So please get involved whenever you can.
Absolutely. I'll be honest, this league makes me feel rubbish about my FPL skills because I'm a 60-something place. But a special shout out to Andy Cottrell, who's leading the way with 818 points. Got 74 points this week. And Scott, you said his worldwide position was... who said it? Signore. Did you tell me? It was you, Signore, wasn't it? What's Andy's position?
4,000 and something.
That's how competitive our league is. I mean, Andy's like 4,000 in the world and has hit that number 1 spot. Special mention to Patrick Barrett in second place there. Deleted by Christmas. I don't think he will be, mate. If you're having a great season so far. That's
Amazing.
that's
a great team name, to be fair.
That's going to be great. Okay, it's time now to have a look at the fixtures for the next game week. Game week 14 then. We have Leicester versus Man City.
There's a couple of James Milners in there, I can see.
Okay. Go on.
Here we go again.
Right, look out for Signore naming the derbies. So Leicester versus Man City, Bournemouth versus Spurs, Brentford v Wolves, Brighton versus Chelsea, Crystal Palace versus Southampton, Newcastle versus Aston Villa, Fulham versus Everton. Yes, bravo. Fulham versus Everton, Liverpool versus Leeds, Arsenal versus...
James Milner too.
He might be the only person to ever get a double derby on our show, by the way. A special guy. Arsenal versus Forest and Man U versus West Ham. And I want to know, as does Thor Iron Man, Thor Iron Man's back. Hello, Thor. What are the fixtures that are sort of standing out for you? Let's go to you, Scott, first. What are you thinking? Where you think you're going to pick up some points this week?
Even though he's been absolutely fantastic for those that have actually started him in Danny Ward, I do think the Leicester and Man City game is the one to target from an FPL point of view. Because if you look at the stats from the Leicester-Wolves game, I'm sure Wolves had like 26 shots and like 15 on target the other day and lost 4-0. I'm sure Leicester had 5 shots on target and scored 4 goals or something similar to that. And I'm thinking, on paper, Haaland up against that defence, it's just a win-win. I think we're going to get several points for those triple Man City assets. I really, really do. It's as simple as that. Before, obviously, the game week, I would have said Arsenal and Forest. Everyone's like, Forest is staying up now. I still think they're the ones to target. So I think Arsenal and Forest could be a very, very good game. after our result last night, I think Man United, West Ham. A massive shout out to all the West Ham boys I go to the games with, and a massive shout out to Dave Jennings who watches our streams. I think we're going to struggle against Man United. I think they've really picked up points, but I think that's a tasty fixture. I think we got quite fortunate last night with the VAR situation, but if we can attack them, I think we can really give them a good game at Old Trafford. We've always normally done quite well against them.
So some good fixtures coming up. Signore, what do you think?
Yeah, the first fixture always makes me feel like, oh, maybe I shouldn't captain the first game of the weekend. I don't know what it is. I just feel a little bit off about captaining. But I mean, it's Haaland. Haaland, that Leicester defence, like Scott highlighted, he's got to score some points, surely. I hope so. He's the only one scoring points for my team. So I could really do with my other players picking up. So, I think Brighton and Chelsea is going to be interesting. Do you know what I mean? Chelsea could struggle there because Brighton do play good football and they've carried on from when Potter's left off. And I think the other one that really interests me is Palace and Southampton. I think that could be a game-deciding season fixture because Palace seem to have been on the rise and then stumbled a little. Southampton were picking up some points and they're not really now. So FPL-wise, it means nothing to me. But I hope Zaha just gets 4 goals, really.
It would be nice. And I think there are some players we need to talk about. I want to talk about Andreas. I think we need to talk about Zaha as well, because again, I'm not convinced there. But let's talk about your intentions for each one of you for the next game week. Scott, I've opened up your team. This is your team from last week. What changes are you going to make?
It's really hard because I've used my 2 free transfers and I'm very, very much on the case of always using a transfer. And if I've got 2 FTs, I can just roll one to the next week. I've no longer got that luxury. So I'm going to really, really struggle to make that one pinpoint decision. And I think if I'm struggling, I'm probably just going to roll. And that's fine because you can go into game week 15 with 2 free transfers, potentially use one of them and go into the final game week before the World Cup wildcard and use your 2 free and use the bus stop template and just play with what you've got with your transfers. I've looked at taking Salah out. Of course, I think a lot of people will look at that now for those that have stuck with him and it's not really worked. You can talk about your Almirons. I think that's a fantastic addition to your team if you bring him in. You can look at your Sakas and bring him in for Salah and have that money in the bank. But I just think the way Leeds are playing, again, I know we said this 8 days ago, but I think at home to Leeds, Salah, if he's going to return, it's the game. And if not, then I'll make the swap afterwards. But I'm probably going to roll. I'm looking for a way to have Andreas in the starting lineup. Everyone get involved. Tell me what I can do. I just don't know who else I could take out to start with Andreas. Apart from that,
take out Zaha.
Yeah, that's absolutely an option. And I think for those that have had Zaha since game week 9, the wildcard 9, I feel like Zaha's increased by another 0.1. It could be a very, very good to take him out. But then he's got Forest in the next 2 game weeks. I mean, I know they've got a great result at home to Liverpool, but I just feel like they're still the team to target. So I do really want to take out players that have got Forest to come up. I don't know. Tell me if I'm wrong, but it's either Zaha to Saka or just roll. I think that's what I'm going to do. If I'm in doubt, just go into game week 15 with 2 FTs.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it sounds like a plan, and it was interesting because FPL Algeria also mentioned Salah versus Leeds, an opportunity to maybe give him another chance. But how many chances are we going to give Liverpool and Salah? Honestly, I don't know. How many chances are we prepared to give? Signore, let's have a look at your team. You did all right last week. It wasn't so bad as others. But what changes are you looking at making?
Well, you say it like that. Let's put this into perspective, Matt. So I brought in Foden and Martinelli. Got me 3 points. I got rid of Trossard and Rodrigo. who scored 14 points last week.
Oh, don't.
That's more agony right there, right? And then if you take Haaland out as my captain, my bench outscores the other 10 players playing for me. So, yeah. Do I roll? I don't know. I was thinking of taking Mings out, but I really don't know now. I'm thinking to myself, if anything, I'm probably going to take Sada out. And then do I bring in like a Saka? Or do I bring in just Almiron? Because this guy is on fire at the minute. And then that is a huge, huge wad in my bag. We'll see. I could likely just roll. Because like Scott, I might just give Mo Salah one more game week.
Haven't they got Tottenham afterwards, after the Leeds game? Liverpool.
I don't know.
I think they've got Tottenham. So if you're going to take him out, then that's the game we could take him out for. It's really tricky. It's one of those, you're in limbo with it all, I think, to be honest. Like, it's down to you guys, I think. I think it's really, really down to your own instincts now. It's as simple as that.
It'd be interesting to see when Liverpool do play Tottenham, when you get the grid, when you're making transfers, worldwide, the number of people transferring in or out. I'm looking forward to seeing how many people are going to be transferring Salah out on that game week. I think that's going to be an unusual screen capture from.
Do you know what's going to happen? He's going to score a hat trick, isn't he? Everyone's going to take him out, including me, and then bang.
How confident are you, though? Are you going to captain him?
Oh, I'm not very confident at all. That's what I'm thinking of taking.
Who the hell is captaining Salah? I mean, it is one man for the captaincy for the rest of the season. It's as simple as that.
Well,
that guy can hit a fingernail and score 28 points. So stop it. Like,
let me dig
it's
it
Haaland
out.
all the way.
He's a bonus bench nightmare because
bonus bench nightmare.
A bonus bench nightmare. Let's give it up. I don't know what the team name is. I'm just going to whack it on the screen. Have a look at this. They triple captained Salah last week and got 6 points. Look at this. Look at this.
Can you make that any bigger?
Points.
Can you make that any bigger?
Look at it. 6.
Can you make it any bigger?
I can't make it bigger.
Can you make it any bigger? Wow, he went triple Newcastle defence. That is amazing. I'm sorry, I'm not even looking at the Salah. I'm looking at the triple Newcastle defence. That is serious commitment. Like, serious commitment. I've got a phone contract that I have to commit to once a month and pay money towards. That's massive. Fair play. Absolute fair play. That's insane. That's insane.
Oh. Yeah, that was a laugh when we saw that one. Wow. So there we go. Let's talk about, for people watching then, who are players to look out for? Who are players to consider bringing in this week? Or in general, players who've been doing pretty well recently. What are your recommendations, Signore?
I've already highlighted Almiron. I feel like this guy's hit form. He's hit more goals this season than these whole Newcastle career beforehand. He's done really, and I don't know what's happened to him this year. He just seems more confident. He seems to be in the right spots at the right time, and at his price tag, I mean, he shot up 0.3 this week, I think. So he would be someone who'd be a good option to bring in. I mean, I haven't got Mitrovic, but he could be someone else as well who could be really good. And as a short-term solution, Everton's fixtures look really good, I wouldn't think defence for them. But if you want to bring in like a Gordon or you want Calvert-Lewin is back, they're not going to get you loads of points, but they could not blank. So just a couple of wild alternatives. Why not? Let's throw their names out there.
That sounds... Yeah, I mean, again, I've had Almiron and I'm so pleased. And I know we laughed at that last team we looked at with triple Newcastle defence, which is hilarious. But there is a prospect to having Newcastle players in your team, which I think is really appealing. Having Trippier, obviously, lots of people have had him from the very beginning. Almiron's doing so well at the moment compared to like his last couple of seasons. I mean, absolutely on fire. It's absolutely brilliant to see. Lots of people with St Max as well. They're definitely ones to have. Scott, What's the question? I've forgotten.
Who would
Who'd
you
you bring
target
in?
this week?
Oh yeah. Sorry, I'm reading the chat at the same time. I was reading FPL Arrows. He said might do Salah out and bring in Kane for -4, and I was thinking, yeah.
No, do you know what? I totally agree, Gaz. I think it's such a good option. He scores every. It seems like he scores every week, and I feel like people sleeping on Kane as a premium, genuinely, because when they lost 2-1. Didn't Kane get 3 bonus points? Like, he's just a bonus point merchant, and it's great. Fair play, absolute fair play. And I've never taken a -4 this season. I don't think I will this week, but if I was, it would be for Harry Kane, 100% easy. Like, you could take Salah out for Saka, take Salah out for Almiron, take one of your striker assets out. Obviously, barring Haaland. Obviously, I'm not. What do you think I am? Some kind of unhumane person. But I will. If you look at the options to bring in Kane on a -4 with these fixtures until the World Cup wildcard. I think it's going to pay off. I really do. I mean, I would do it if I was brave enough. I think it's a solid option to bring in for the game week. With Mitrovic, as much as he's returned for me, it's so weird because I've had 2 returns all week. One of them being Haaland captain, which most of the world has basically had. And the other one was Mitrovic, which a large portion of managers also have. But I feel like after this game week against Everton, he's got 2 Manchester fixtures. He's got United or he's got City, or he's got City and then he's got United. There might be a case for 2 game weeks to take him out. United are picking up points. I think they're looking quite good now. There's a real option to maybe take him out, and as you say, for a Kane, or for as what Signore said, for a DCL and Dominic Calvert-Lewin, because their fixtures look good, really good. If people are going to commit to a -4, this is the week to do it, because realistically, you're going to bring a player on a -4 to see you through to the end of game week 16. So, I mean, in addition to what Signore said, it's your Almirons, as what Gaz said, it's a Kane, or you look at someone like a Saka at Arsenal coming in for the Forest fixture, which I think their fixtures are okay from now until the end of the to game week 16. I think they've got Chelsea in between that, but any of those I think will see you through for 3 or 4 game weeks. So either way, it's going to be worth it on a -4.
Is it time to start thinking about Everton players again? Too early to say.
I don't know, because like I said, it's a differential if you're willing to take that gamble. In one of my draft teams, I've got a couple of Everton players, and it's paying off. But how long for? And they're a bit unpredictable. So, like I said, if you want to bring in like a Gordon, or you want to bring in like a Calvert-Lewin, short term until the World Cup, their fixtures look all right.
Yeah, something to consider. But Calvert-Lewin, Gordon's someone I've looked at before. Isn't Gordon put down as a midfielder?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a bad shout. It's not the price isn't too bad, but there's arguably better deals to be had, I would have thought. We've got a couple of questions in that I want to kind of go through.
Lovely.
Is that including the Spanish?
How's your Spanish? And does anyone know what this says?
I want to say they're saying they're Ecuadorian. I'm just going on based my very limited Spanish.
Does anyone know what this
Italian.
says?
I want to say they're saying.
I thought you were Italian, mate.
Yeah, but I'm trying to put some translating words together. So I'm trying to think they're Ecuadorian, and that's as much as I can get. Their name is Bernabe.
I think what FPL Arrow says about chasing rank, if you're chasing rank and you want to take a couple of risks, I think now until game week 16 is the week to do it. I really, really do. I think if you want to take that risk and, add a differential or 2, it is from now until game week 16, it's the time to do it. It's as simple as that, really. So thanks, FPL Arrows. Thanks, guys.
Let's go through a few questions then. Thought Iron Man. Scott, as a West Ham fan, where do you think we will end up in the league this season? West Ham in the league.
It's tricky, really, because I feel like yesterday we got very, very fortunate. On the footballing terms, football in terms, we got very, very fortunate. I think 2 decisions went our way, which should have never gone our way. But we've also been very, very unlucky football in terms this season already, let alone previous few seasons of VAR. So we're in the top, top 10, top 11 now. I think that's justice where we should be. I feel like we're prioritising the Europa Conference League at the moment. We've got that game coming up in 2 days. So I think we'll end up in the top 10. I don't think we'll get Europe via the Premier League this season. We might get it through the Conference League. But I think top 10 is probably justifiable with the amount of additions we've brought into the squad. We've made 9 transfers. It's a bit of a bedding-in period. We've lost our captain, who's obviously been there for 104 years, in Mark Noble. So, yeah, I'd be happy to take top 10, to be honest. Yeah.
Okay, nice. Next question from Football Fumble. Out of interest, how many hits has everyone taken so far? Football Fumble's not taken any. Signore, how many have you taken?
Uno.
1. Scott?
0.
0.
That's me trying to do another language of 0, yes.
Cool. I've only taken 1 as well. So, keeping it.
That's good.
You don't need to take them. I found myself rolling a few times this season, to be honest, and just trying to ride out.
Calm down.
The cap's not red, mate. Right. Okay. So now what we're gonna do? Is we're gonna bring back a segment that used to be on the pre-recorded shows, and it's making its return on the live shows. If you watch the early episodes, you'll know we had a segment called Cameraman Challenge. And boy, oh boy, we're bringing it back, baby. Oh yes, a special Halloween edition of Cameraman Challenge. But the Cameraman Challenge is not just for Scott and Signore. If people are watching, and you can get involved in the chat as well, because today's Cameraman Challenge is going to be a Halloween-themed quiz. Ooh. There are 5 questions. And we shall see who comes out on top of the Cameraman Challenge Halloween quiz of 2022. There are 5 questions, and they're all really hard.
I look forward to this then.
Do get involved. Right, Scott and Signore, you're not allowed to read the chat during this bit.
Okay.
But if for people in the chat you want to get involved, then please write your answers in the chat. And Scott and Signore promise me they won't read them. So 5 questions. Here's the first question. Which Premier League team has received the most number of red cards in games played on Halloween?
Is this Aston Villa?
Signore thinks Aston Villa. What's your guess, please, Scott? A Premier League team.
Yeah, I'll go with it. I'll have no Scooby. Yeah, let's just go for it. Villa.
If
we get it wrong,
Listen, we get it wrong universally, yeah? We're a team in this, like, simple as that. Yeah, Villa.
Anyone in the audience want to have a guess? I told you these questions are quite hard.
It's quite strange because FPL Arrows has asked a question about Signore. Do you think Chelsea are going to finish in the top 4? And you asked a question about red cards. I think it's very, very apt, to be honest. That's just me anyway. But...
We will come to that. Thought Iron Man reckons Arsenal. I can confirm it is not Arsenal and it is not Aston Villa. Liverpool have the most number of red cards on games played on Halloween.
Interesting.
Wow.
That will not affect my team selection.
Triple captain Van Dijk, let's go.
Van Dijk is not one of the players. In fact, the last player to get it, they've had 3, and the last player to get sent off in a Halloween game was Jamie Carragher. So there we go, Jamie Carragher. Here's the next question.
Wait, that was about 20 years ago. He was still supporting Everton at the time.
We're going. This is the whole Premier League. So basically, Scott, before you were born, right? We used to have Division 1.
Okay, yes, I was born the season that the Premier League come about. The
Snickers
second
were called
half of the season, yeah.
marathons. We had
I
big
don't know
TVs.
what you're on about, mate. I don't know what you're on about. Let's just not go that far. I was born halfway through the second half of the first ever season of Premier League. Thank you very much.
Well, there we
Cheers,
go.
bye.
There we go. Now, I said there were 5 questions. I kind of skipped the second one when I read out the Jamie Carragher answer. So there's 4 questions in total. Right. Question 2. 4 teams have scored an own goal on Halloween. Can you name any one of the 4 teams that have scored an own goal on Halloween? And this is the whole Premier League since it was born.
Inception. Since its inception.
Since its inception. Name a team that you think has scored an own goal on Halloween.
Do you know what? I'm going to go for Blackpool because they was in the Premier League for about 3.5 minutes. So let's just go for Blackpool.
I was going to say Sunderland. They scored quite a few own goals, I think. Who knows?
Okay. Wow. I can confirm that neither of you two are correct. The last one was Alfie Mawson with Swansea City in 2016. Craig Short for Everton in 1998. Ian Brightwell for Man City in 1992. And Gary McAllister for Leeds in 1992 as well. So they are the 4 own goals scored on a Halloween fixture.
Listen, boys, I know you're fossils and all that, but I was born in 1993. So how am I supposed to know anything beyond that? Like, I'm not having that. Like, that's just...
I'm just going to take a wild guess to say our audience are quite young as well because they're getting all the answers wrong. They're saying like Man U, West Ham, Arsenal. No. So it's not quite right. Okay, next up, we have an odd one out round. I'm going to show you 4 football players and you have to guess who is the odd one out and why. Now, this is Halloween related. Okay, it's Halloween. So it's about Halloween, guys. Your 4 players are Van Nistelrooy, Dindan, Kevin Nolan, and Demba Ba. Who is the odd one out and why?
Has Demba Ba never been trick-or-treating? Is that what it is?
Who is that in for Portsmouth? That's for Montari. I'm trying to work out who it is.
Dindan. One of them is the odd one out. Who is it and why?
Jesus.
I told you this was hard.
It's Halloween related.
It's to do with Halloween. It's to do with them playing a fixture on Halloween.
I was going to say, has one of them never played on Halloween before? If so, I'm going to say the Portsmouth guy.
So Dindan, you think hasn't played on Halloween, is therefore the odd one out. Scott,
I'm just thinking the others had many seasons in the Prem.
Okay.
The fact that, Kevin Nolan is the West Ham coach and I watched him play for West Ham as captain, I've got a feeling, is he the only captain to be sent off at Halloween for Newcastle?
Okay, so you think Kevin Nolan's the odd one out because he's the only one to be sent off for Newcastle on Halloween. Okay, we'll see what the audience says in a minute, but I'm afraid you're both wrong.
What a shocker.
I'm sorry, guys.
Oh, what a turn up for the books that was.
Cameraman Challenge is making Scott very angry this week. It's the pub quiz. He's like, what? Anyway, right. Van Nistelrooy is the odd one out because he's the only one who has not scored a hat-trick on a fixture on Halloween.
Wow, that's amazing.
There you go. The other 3 have scored a hat-trick on Halloween.
Play. That's awesome. Wow.
Right. If you thought that was hard...
It was actually easier than I expected.
I'm surprised you didn't get even close to that, to be honest. At least to the reason why.
You expect Demba Ba to score hat-tricks every single week, don't you, really? Let's be honest.
Right. Nothing wrong with Denver Bar.
Nothing
Right.
wrong with Denver Bar.
The last question's even harder.
Scott, we're in for a treat here. But it's more of a trick.
So glad,
I've made this
I
so
turned up
hard.
this week. Sorry, I couldn't make it this week, boys. I've got a bit bench nightmare.
Right. I have to read this out without laughing. Name a football player whose name contains the words trick and treat. So if you mix up the words in their names, their first name and their surname, you can make the words trick and treat.
Can I
I'll just
start?
write this down.
There was that player from Holland who played for Celtic. He had about 26 different letters in his name. Jan van Husselink. Surely it's him because he had every single letter. It's got to be him.
It doesn't have a bloody T in it.
I don't care. It's got to be him.
You've missed the first letter.
Listen, it was a silent T, it was a silent Z, it was a silent A, B, C, D, or F, G plus 48. Listen, it was him. It's got to be him. There's no other player that would have that name. Was he even a Premier League player?
Yeah.
Thank
Can
God
I take
for
a
that.
wild guess here?
Oh, go on.
No, you're gonna get it right. It's so obvious.
Is it
Conspiracy?
No, because I thought about Rick to begin with, looking when I've written it down, but I can't see what the other words can make out of. But I think it's Trent Alexander-Arnold.
That is not the correct answer, I'm afraid.
Oh,
shame!
I'm really
shame!
sorry.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Wait! Is it that bloke that plays? Is it that bloke that plays for Palace? I don't know what his name is.
that bloke. There's 26 of them, Scott.
He wears the number 44 shirt. That's all I know.
Right. I'll give you some clues as to who this player is. He currently plays. He currently plays for DC United.
Oh yeah, brilliant. MLS. Yeah, we do that a lot.
He has previously played for Crystal Palace, Liverpool, and Aston Villa.
So he plays for DC United. That's Rooney's team, isn't it?
He currently plays for DC United, but before that was at Crystal Palace for 6 years. Before that was at Liverpool for 1 year.
I got it.
And
Is
before
it
that, yes! Scott wins! I mean, I'd have to basically spell it out for you, but yeah, Scott wins. Well done. You win the Cameraman Challenge Halloween Edition 2022. Congratulations, Scott. Christian Benteke is the answer.
Can't wait for the reunion. Oh my gosh.
I didn't even know he was there.
United? No, I knew he left Palace. I didn't know he went to America though. Wow.
I didn't. I just thought
this
he had some time off.
All right, sabbatical.
Well, that brings us to the end of tonight's show. I just want to say a huge thank you to everyone who has been watching and taking part. FPL Arrows, Mike Brown, Thor Iron Man, Football Fumble, FPL Arrows. Who else we've got? FPL Agony, no, that's us. Our Spanish friend, Bernabé Galca Gomez, thank you very much. FPL Algeria, Jason, thank you very much for joining. Who else? I'm just scrolling through the chat and just seeing else. ZA joined us. FPL of the day, thank you very much. Emily, thank you very much for joining us. Sean, I don't know if I mentioned you, but thank you for joining us. Loads and loads and loads of people. The chat's been really active tonight. So thank you very much for taking part on tonight's show. And unlike last time where I completely forgot Signore's version of the outro, we had to literally watch a video to go through and figure it out. We're not going to need such nonsense this week because we have the man himself here. So Signore, take it away.
So join us next time on FPL Agony, where we will share more stress, anxieties,
and agony that make us love the pain of this game.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll see you next time, and may all of your arrows be green. Good night.